So at 57, we traded to Tampa Bay. Then we moved back to 60. Then we traded that pick to Cincinnati. Then we go back to 63, and then we get our guy in James Cook, running back out of Georgia. And through those trades, we acquired 2 more 6th-round picks, I believe. So a lot of trading back, and I'll just preface this by saying I was at Hot Shots doing Challenge Court here in Rochester, which is basically kind of like a weekly, all right, come out, play, pick up volleyball, and if you win, you get something. A lot of fun, and I had some time between my games, and I'm sitting there. I didn't have that much time, so I'm sitting there watching the draft at the bar, and I'm like, all right, who are the Bills going to pick? They trade back. I'm like, all right, they only trade back twice. I still got time. Trade back again. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to miss my game just to watch who the Bills pick. And then as I'm like about to leave, I'm watching for another 2 more seconds, and then we finally make our pick in James Cook. And I couldn't be more happier about that pick. I knew that the Bills needed beef in the running back room. Not only did we add a guy who's got family in the NFL, so James is probably going to pick Dalvin's mind, saying like, hey, what did you find worked best in your rookie year? What's that jump look like, right? I'm really happy about this pick because I think that he can grow into a really strong runner. But what we do know about him right now is that he's a good receiving threat coming out of the backfield. It's just easy for him, natural, and he can even line out wide. He's done that in Georgia. So I'm really happy about this photo, or I'm sorry, not this photo, with this pick. And when he was asked how is it gonna work with you and Singletary, I think Matt Perino asked him during his presser, and Dalvin smiled and he said, me and Singletary are gonna be the 1-2 punch. Yeah, me and Singletary. But then literally no mention of Moss. Just to put that out there. So I don't know what this means for a guy like Zach Moss, but I do know that this means that the Bills have added a legitimate threat coming out of the backfield, and that's awesome, especially because, we lost out on the whole, oh my God, or that whole debacle with the running back out of the Washington Commanders, McKissick. Yeah, so, Justin, how do you feel about the Bills trading back twice and getting James Cook in the second?
So I've heard a lot of criticism for this pick, being that, for a second-round pick, it's not this quote-unquote true workhorse running back, and it's too high of an investment to make for him. I personally don't care about any of that. I absolutely love this pick, and I think Singletary has come along enough and kind of earned that hand the ball off, go between the tackles. I think he does fine with that when he has adequate blocking. I think this offense, and we'll see what it looks like with Dorsey, but I think this offense leans so much into the passing game already that adding, one of those true between the tackles, just bangers. We kind of did that with Moss, and it didn't really work out, whether that was the player, the scheme, whatever. But what I do know will immediately be a spark plug for this offense is somebody that can be a matchup nightmare for linebackers. Somebody that is a polished route runner, has confident hands.
Yes.
We've seen Singletary get involved in the passing game and be effective to an extent once he has the ball and he's moving in space. But to me, he's never really looked like a natural pass catcher. It always looks like effort for him, and he really has to secure the ball before he knows where he's going with it. Watching James Cook tape, he's taken off.
Natural.
Right. The other thing I really love about this, when he's talking about his matchup or how he's going to play off of Singletary, I've seen the past 2 off seasons, Singletary's been working out with Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
obviously his
in
brother.
the embedded videos.
Right. So, to me, I feel like there's a chance that Delvin and James are also already working out together. So he's probably already formed a little bit of a bond with Singletary. They probably already
Building up that continuity.
right. What this
Yeah.
means for Zach Moss, I mean, at the very least, it lights a fire under him, and maybe we
You get
see
the best version.
maybe we see a best version of him. I do think this probably ends up being Duke Johnson on the outs, which,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons, we loved when they added Duke Johnson, but higher upside with James Cook, and I couldn't be happier with this pick.
Yeah, I think you added a guy like, what? Oh my God, I'm just blanking out. Who'd we sign? That you just mentioned that from
Duke?
Yeah, I think you got Duke in the offseason to hedge your bets if you couldn't get a running back like James Cook. So the fact that we got James Cook, who automatically comes in and is probably on the same level, if not better than a guy like McKissick, who's also going to be cheaper because he's on his rookie contract, is a win by Brandon Beane. Make no mistake, Bills Mafia, this is a fire pick, at least in my opinion. I'm very, very happy about it, but I agree. Yeah, that homie's looking on the outside, looking in. Duke is looking on the outside, looking in, so we'll see there.